All right, well, you're in the right place. So the first thing that you recognize, if you don't have a value proposition that's working for you, then it's probably not working for your customers, then it's probably not working for your investors, it's probably not working for any partners you may have. So that's the first sign. When you're overconfident that you think you really have your value proposition down, and then you share it with somebody else and they go, I don't get that, then you're in trouble. So value proposition requires a lot of humility because it has to be relevant and it has to be clear and concise for everybody else. If you get it and nobody else gets it, it's not winning. So the value prop is not just about today, it is also about tomorrow. And if you want me to invest in your business, I hear your story about today, but I also want to understand your story about tomorrow, right? Because you've got some forward-looking projections, and I want to understand if they're based on anything meaningful. Markets are going to change. Customers are going to change. The competitive set's going to change. All the drivers and forces are going to change. So help me understand how you're going to stay relevant to deliver value in the future. The first lesson then is when you think about your value prop, you need to know where your value prop impacts your customer. Are you helping to increase revenue or decrease costs? You have to understand that mapping and the way that your customer's P&L works as well as they do. I mean, you got to understand, you got to sit in their business and understand how their business works, where the levers are that they pull or can pull, right, to improve their business performance and their profitability. Or otherwise, you can't develop a winning value proposition because your value proposition has to directly impact their P&L and what those key performance indicators are that they care about. Does that make sense? There is an opportunity to more effectively and simply communicate what you do, how it differs, and why it matters. Don't confuse vision with value. Don't confuse features and benefits with elements of your value proposition, right? And don't just write stuff to be writing. What business are you in? What problem are you trying to solve? Why is it a problem? For whom? Why does it matter? How are you impacting that? How are you solving that problem that is not being solved today? Or how are you solving it differently? And how can you prove to me that I'm going to be better off economically as a result of it? And so your value prop is going to speak directly to somebody within your customer organization. The person who gets the benefit directly from whatever impact you're proposing to have on their business, right? Whether it's revenue or expenses, right, or costs. So you got to be real clear about who you need to communicate your value proposition to. What really makes what you do different in each one of these things versus the next best alternative? And then what impact does it really have on the customer's business? You know, that technical term we used earlier, for real dough. At some point you can't get around, you got to prove your value, right? It's not just a word story. The word story is based on some data and some facts that you have, right? Or it doesn't hang together.